Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
No, what a feeling. Putting a buffer zone around the Toyota plant has landowners wanting the city to hit the brakes tonight. Will that affect a possible Toyota expansion? And the pain at the pump could be easing, why a federal move could lead to lower prices at the gas pumps. But first, happening right now, a witness tells me San Pedro Avenue shut down for a short time tonight after a shooting near a liquor store and the HEB near Oblate. Apparently, the disturbance happened at that liquor store. Police say it turned out to be a minor shooting after a fight. San Pedro back open at this hour. Amid talks of a Toyota expansion, a divisive proposal has landowners near the Toyota plant fuming. The city's planning commission wants to limit what can be built around Toyota in the name of health and safety. But as a couple of landowners tell the Night Team's John Paul Barajas, they want to put the brakes on the city's buffer zone plans.
Why don't they focus on building great cars and stop hindering our developments? Toyota is striving in profit at the cost, yes sir, at the cost of landowners and developers.
Landowners near San Antonio's Toyota plant had a lot to say at today's City Zoning Commission meeting.
This is a travesty conducted by the city of San Antonio in a back room with Toyota.
Their frustrations focus on a proposal, an industrial compatibility overlay district. So what does that mean? The city's planning department wants to create a 2-mile buffer zone around Toyota's facility to limit nearby commercial and residential development.
The city planning department just needs to answer a lot of questions that went unanswered today.
This landowner asked to remain anonymous, but he says he's upset because the proposed buffer would limit what property owners can do with their land.
It's ridiculous. I'm sick of what's going on constantly. Everybody's always trying to get their hand in my pocket, and I'm over here just trying to make a living.
The city's presentation says 2,843 properties would be affected. Its goal, to, quote, protect public health and safety by minimizing potential negative impacts by operations from heavy industrial uses. An explanation that landowners we spoke to aren't buying.
No traffic study, no environmental study, no land use study, there's nothing. There's somebody came with the number 2, and now they just want to impose this in all the landowners.
For now, the Zoning Commission is putting its decision on hold until July. Members of the commission recommended getting more public input before a final vote.
I'm not real impressed with how little thought was put into reaching out. And there were a number of occasions as a community had questions here where they were asking about the process. You should have every process that may be related to this particular rezoning and overlay district thought through and be prepared to answer questions and make amendments by the time that public input meeting happens. You should not.
I tried to speak to the city's assistant planning director at that meeting, but he declined an interview. And many landowners who spoke today say this proposal reminds them of the city's 2003 Project Starbright agreement that brought Toyota to town. That deal created a 3-mile buffer around the plant. And last December, Southside Affordable Development LLC filed a lawsuit against Toyota and the city, saying that this was unconstitutional and improper, giving power to Toyota to be able to weigh in on zoning decisions.
All right, again, I want to point out, you tried to talk to somebody from the Planning Commission, and they said they would not do an interview.
That's correct. The person who was doing the presentation, the assistant director of the Planning Department, as soon as we wrapped up, we tried to speak with them. He said, we're not doing interviews. We can't speak right now. They did provide us that PowerPoint presentation.
We have questions tonight along with the landowners. Thank you, John Paul. Appreciate it. Meanwhile, it is not a done deal, but Toyota is also looking to expand its manufacturing operation on the south side. Bexar County commissioners unanimously approved an incentive package worth $14.9 million. That deal, which includes tax breaks, is the county's answer to Toyota's $531.7 million capital investment project. The county says that plan would create an additional 411 jobs, starting at just over $20 an hour with an average salary of about $68,000. But this is not a done deal. Like I said, Toyota has not decided whether that expansion will actually take place. We reached out and asked Toyota about its plans today. In a statement, the automaker says in part, quote, "We are constantly evaluating our competitiveness and making decisions to support the potential for continued investments across our North American operations, helping to ensure our promise of long-term employment stability. We have nothing to announce at this time," end quote. The Uvalde School District Chief of Police Joshua Gutierrez resigning. If you remember, he was named interim police chief in November of 2022 after former police chief Pete Arredondo was fired in the months after the tragedy at Robb Elementary. Gutierrez then named the official Uvalde CISD police chief last March. The school district released a statement a few hours ago ensuring they're committed to finding a suitable successor. They went on to say, quote, "We thank Chief Gutierrez for his dedicated leadership and guidance in reestablishing the Uvalde CISD Police Department." His last day will be June 27th. It remains unclear why he decided to resign. Gutierrez's announcement coming just days before the 2-year mark of the tragedy at Robb Elementary. Since that day, fears have lingered in the minds of parents, students, teachers across the country. Certainly South Texas. That's why San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says his department is taking precautions. They're planning. The chief broke down those precautions before a city council meeting today, detailing the links they're going to prevent tragedies. That includes sharing intelligence with schools, researching people making certain gun purchases and requests, and knowing who's in charge if an event like what happened in Uvalde happens here.
Because SAPD has the resources and the capacity to handle one of those situations, SAPD is going to wind up being in charge of it.
McManus's presentation a result of a council request by District 8 Councilman Manny Pelaez, who asked last year for a mass shooting prevention and response plan. A quick update now to a story we've been following at San Antonio ISD. The district confirming it will not hold a final budget meeting tomorrow night. Trustees held a budget meeting last night. The spokesperson tells KSAT tonight the district decided Wednesday's scheduled special meeting was actually not needed. The board will vote on the 2024-2025 budget at its June 24th regular meeting. A little boy's murder and emotions on full display in court today for the trial of Daniel Garcia. He's accused of beating 5-year-old Dominic Aguilar Acevedo to death back in 2021. Footage of the little boy's last moments shown to jurors today. Dominic's mother, Garcia's ex-girlfriend, Nicole Aguilar, also charged in the child's death. She testified against him today as part of her plea deal, detailing what happened in the hours after Dominic died and the lengths she says the pair went to cover it up. Garcia could spend the rest of his life behind bars if he's found guilty. KSAT live streaming this trial start to finish. You can actually watch it on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, as well as the KSAT YouTube page. It resumes tomorrow morning on all of those streaming platforms. Happening tomorrow, should horse-drawn carriages hoof it out of downtown or even out of the whole city? A proposed ban on the Transportation Advisory Board's agenda tomorrow afternoon. A local carriage company say they plan to be at that meeting. Ban supporters have cited safety on crowded downtown streets and animal welfare issues. The idea won't go before a council committee, until at least next month. It's unclear when that idea might be up for a vote, if ever. Seems the good news keeps coming for San Antonio International Airport. SAT has long gone without a direct flight to Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport near downtown D.C. But that could finally change with the simple act of Congress. San Antonio, a growing city with a growing airport, that's a good enough reason to get a direct flight to D.C.'s Reagan Airport. I asked Mayor Ron Nirenberg why he thought San Antonio needed this flight. Here's what he said.
San Antonio is also the site of the largest concentration of the United States military outside of the Washington region. Making sure that there's efficient connectivity, people can get to and from DC and San Antonio smoothly and reliably is important for all those people, military and others, to conduct business.
So it's looking good for our city. The deal isn't completely done, but the mayor says it's as close as it's ever been. You can watch our full Q&A segment with the mayor from today's 6 o'clock news right now online.
And now we just have to wait out of Washington to make it happen, right?
Within 60 days, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
All right, man. Fingers crossed. Big headlines around here, summer-like heat. Our temperatures these days are more indicative of average highs in July and August. Actually, record challenging heat around the corner, along with our first triple-digit day likely, and the hazy smoke in the air. We'll also talk about where we have the best chance of rain in the coming days in just a bit.
May feel like it's already here, but summer is fast approaching, at least calendar-wise. The Memorial Day long weekend just days away. In an effort to ease the pain at the pump for travelers this summer, the Biden administration announcing 1 million barrels of gas will be released from reserves in rolling increments. The Energy Department says the gas will be released 100,000 barrels at a time ahead of the 4th of July and then a thick stretch of the summer travel season. The gas will come from reserves in New Jersey and Maine, which Congress has mandated be closed and sold off as part of the deal that kept the government funded back in March. According to AAA, the average cost of a gallon of gas in the U.S., $3.66, considerably more expensive than the average cost of a gallon in Texas and Bexar County. State average is at $3.17 a gallon, while the Bexar County average a cent cheaper than that at $3.16. The KSAT Vote 2024 webpage has everything you need to know about elections between now and November, actually between now and March 28th even. City, county, educational, and national stories live in that section of our website, including information you need to know about the upcoming primary runoff elections next week. Early voting is underway for those primary runoff elections right now through Friday. Again, Election Day is next Tuesday. You can scan this QR code for an article breaking down early voting polling places and a copy of sample ballots. Now, if you can't vote in the early voting window, Election Day is next Tuesday, May 28th. Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. The Department of Homeland Security sounding the alarm on election interference. The DHS sent a bulletin to state and local officials outlining concerns that artificial intelligence could be used to interfere in this November's presidential election. Large-scale attacks less likely, they say. This warning mostly warned against threat actors using AI to create fake content to influence the election. The defense for former President Donald Trump resting its case in his New York hush money trial. The defense only called 2 witnesses to the stand compared to the 20 witnesses the Manhattan District Attorney had testify. The former president did not testify on his own behalf. Jurors will now take a week off and return next Tuesday for closing arguments. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash. It's been nearly a week since severe weather ravaged parts of Houston. Not everyone's back on their feet yet. Federal agencies getting involved in the recovery. Hundreds of thousands of people are still without power. You can help, though. Find out how next on the Nightbeat. The cleanup efforts continue in Houston and the Houston area tonight, days after destructive and deadly storms blew through. At least 8 people have died at the storm's peak. Nearly 900,000 customers were without power. As of 6:45 tonight, that number is down to about 102,000 customers. Our sister station KPRC shared this video of CenterPoint Energy crews out and about dealing with down power lines and trees even today. The storm was last Thursday. The utility company says crews also dealing with soil and tree stability issues due to heavy rainfall. CenterPoint says it hopes to have the power back on across its service area by tomorrow night. Help pouring into the Houston area, including federal assistance. The administrator for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, got a tour of the damage in Houston today.
Texans are no strangers to disasters. However, when one hits like this one hit, it really brings the whole community together to make sure that we're doing everything to help the people that have been impacted.
The damage devastating, the impact far from over. Now, if you would like to help those affected by the storms in Houston, the Texas Diaper Bank is collecting donations. We're told these are the most critically needed items, things you might not think about. Baby diapers and wipes, adult diapers and wipes, and period supplies. The Texas Diaper Bank also accepting monetary donations. We have more information on how you can share those donations right now at KSAT.com. Take a live look outside, 83 degrees. And like I said, Adam, I mean, that was a storm that was Thursday. And there's still more than 100,000 people without power in Houston.
And that goes to show the strength of straight line wind damage. People often are quick to assume, a tornado hit because the destruction's bad. No, that was straight line winds, which can and often are more damaging than the typical size of tornadoes we see around here. And that's why it was so widespread, because there's a big wall of wind that came through. Whereas a tornado, that's more of a confined area to cause damage. So unfortunately, they're still recovering from that. And add to it the heat and humidity. Take a look at our high temperature trend going forward here. Anywhere from 95 to 100 over the next 6 days, right? 100 is what we're expecting on Sunday. We're predicting our first triple-digit day of the year, which is definitely ahead of schedule. The average first 100 is June 26th. We were talking about that last night. But also I want to point out this would tie the record for the day on Sunday. Today we made it to 97 here in San Antonio. Cotulla 100, Del Rio 100. By the way, we were 9 degrees above average for the day today. And most of Texas in the 90s. Now the average high for us in August is 97. July, it's 96. That's where we are. So that's why I say summer-like heat. Temperatures more indicative of July and August. The heat high, no surprise, Big Blue H, creeping pretty close to us. That will push southward a little bit, but not have a huge influence on temperature changes. Just opens the door for some disturbances to move overhead. Speaking of, farther away from the center of that high, we have a little bit of activity in North Texas today, but most of it was up and down the midsection of the country, especially southern Minnesota through Iowa and even stretching into Wisconsin. Multiple severe weather outbreaks up the midsection of the country. It's that time of year, May. This is when we get it. As for the tornado reports today, you see multiple ones, particularly in central and southwestern Iowa. Keep in mind, some of these can be repetitive reports of the same tornado, right? So this isn't the amount of tornadoes, just the amount of reports Storm Prediction Center got. That big cold front stretches almost down into North Texas right now. It's getting here, and it's going to drop in and stall around I-20 as we get into tomorrow. So there's a little bit of activity ahead of it today, and as that front drops in tomorrow, best chance for showers and storms, North Texas, in and around Interstate 20, but even creeping into the Edwards Plateau and parts of our area. Far northern hill country could get clipped by some of the activity tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And we give it a 20% chance. And basically going forward here, a 10 to 20% chance is pretty much possible almost any day, just because with the heat high moving south, could have a few disturbances, maybe some leftover action from North Texas. Can't rule it out, but unfortunately, we're largely going to be dry. You look at the reservoir levels, unfortunately not good. Canyon Lake at 58% full. That's 23 feet below the conservation pool. Hazy out there again today. Usually you can see downtown very easily right there. Not so much the case now because of the smoke that's overhead from the agricultural fires in Mexico. That's going to be noticeable at least the rest of the week. Tomorrow, more of the same, mid-90s. It's going to feel like it's closer to 106. Then we get on into the upcoming holiday weekend, and it's triple digits by Sunday, Steve.
All right. Thank you, Adam. Mary, do you remember back Spurs' first regular season game? You and I were at the AT&T Center. They were about to take on the Mavericks, and I wondered aloud, could this kid live up to the hype? I think he has.
He has absolutely lived up to the hype. I mean, it's just incredible what he's done, but also how the league has recognized him for that. He makes the NBA first team all defense. The details coming up. Also last night we heard from Reagan. Tonight we gain insight from O'Connor as they prepare for their first regional semifinal in 10 years. That and more coming up right after the break.
It's amazing. I mean, you know, growing up, we've been to football games, to baseball games, just watching the tradition of O'Connor being in the playoffs and to push past the standard that we originally set. It's been awesome.
The O'Connor baseball team is back in the regional semifinals for the first time in a decade. What's motivating the Panthers this postseason? In Big Board Sports. Well, if Game 1 was any indicator of how the Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and Pacers is going to go, buckle up. Andrew Nembhard, final minute of regulation, sinks this jumper, and that looks like that could seal the deal for Indiana in a back-and-forth game, but the Pacers get in their own way. Another untimely turnover leads to this Jaylen Brown contested corner three to send the game to overtime. And Jason Tatum takes over down the stretch for the third straight series that Boston wins Game 1 at home, 133-128, the final in overtime. All right, Victor Wembanyama continues reaching new heights. The Spurs gem is now the first and youngest player in NBA history to make the league's all-defensive first team as a rookie. And Wemby is just the sixth rookie to make the all-defensive team to begin with the other five earning second-team nods, including Spurs legends Tim Duncan in 1998 and David Robinson in 1990. The NBA announced the team this afternoon, and Wembanyama appeared on all but one of the ballots cast. The Spurs didn't see much success this season, but Wemby individually did. The Rookie of the Year led the league in blocks per game and total blocks with 254, to name a few. All right, joining Wemby on the all-defensive first team, the Defensive Player of the Year, Minnesota's Rudy Gobert, Miami's Bam Adebayo, New Orleans' Herb Jones, and Lakers' Anthony Davis. On the second team all-defense, it's made up of Bulls' Alex Caruso, Orlando's Jalen Suggs, Boston, and former Spur Derek White, Jaden McDaniels of Minnesota, and Boston's Drew Holiday. Here's a look at Texans wide receiver Tank Dell at Houston's voluntary workout today. Dell didn't appear to have any noticeable limitations after just last month suffering a gunshot wound. Dell was a victim of a mass shooting at a Florida restaurant, and the team said he suffered a minor wound. Great to see him back and ready to build on a promising rookie campaign before he was sidelined with an injury week 13. In 2 days, Reagan and O'Connor square off in the Class 6A Region 4 baseball semifinals. O'Connor swept all but one of their first three playoff series to advance to the fourth round for the first time in 10 seasons. After graduating a key group of seniors from last year's team and struggling through the middle portion of their regular season schedule, the Panthers know they've been underestimated, and they're thriving on the chaos.
This is some uncharted territory for us. I think we got none to, we're playing for each other and we got none to lose, and we're having a lot of fun right now.
None of these seniors here have been past the third round, and I think it's special to them getting past that big hump.
It's big. I've grown up around O'Connor sports, and I've been watching them my whole life. And the tradition, the people, the fans, the family, it's one big group. And to be a part of it means something special.
This is what we expect, and we're just thrilled and grateful to be able to put O'Connor baseball back where O'Connor baseball needs to be.
Game 1 between O'Connor and Reagan gets underway Thursday at 7 o'clock from NISD Field number 2. Coming up after the break, OLU softball is off to the NAIA World Series, and Texas State football has a new name for their home turf. Stay with us. The nation's top-ranked Our Lady of the Lake softball team has set sail to the NAIA World Series. OLU is back on the big stage for the second straight year, but failed to advance last season. This time around, the Saints boast more depth and veteran leadership thanks to some new transfers. So we'll see if the squad can bring home a program first national title beginning Friday at 7 in Georgia. OLU is the 1 seed and owns a first-round bye. Texas State football and Bobcat Stadium will undergo a major transformation as the university signed a landmark stadium naming rights deal with University Federal Credit Union. It's a 15-year, $23 million partnership, so Bobcat Stadium is no more, get used to saying, UFCU Stadium. The on-campus stadium is also set to undergo a $37 million renovation. So it's exciting stuff for the program and the Sun Belt Conference.
We can't call it like the Bobcat Bank Stadium or Bobcat Savings and Loan Stadium or, I'm trying
throwing out names.
Yeah, never know. We'll be right back.
Feeling the heat again tomorrow, 96 the high. A lot of cloud cover in the morning and then the hazy, smoky afternoon sunshine. Making it to 103 in Del Rio and Cotulla, 100 in Uvalde. But remember, it's going to feel like it's over 100 even in and around Bexar County when you factor in the very high humidity. I mean, we've got dew points in the 70s. It's steamy.
Yeah, it is. Good way to put it. Thank you, Adam, and thank you for joining us. Hope to see you right back here tomorrow on the Night Beat.